Okay, for our preparation of butternut squash for this particular dish, for our purpose today, we really want the neck of the squash. I'm going to separate the bulb from the neck. A good peeler should be able to do this for you. It has a pretty tough outer skin, I have to tell you. Some of them, depending on the season, are tougher than others. That being the case, you can simply put it down on its flat side, use your knife, and just go on the outside. What I'm going to do now, these have been quartered. I put them in a little bit, about a half an inch of vegetable stock, a little bit of bay leaf, a little bit of salt and pepper, some butter. I cover these with foil. I'm going to pop them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. I check them after 20. Obviously, again, depending on what type of the part of the season we're in, depending on where these squash were grown, they might be a wee bit longer to cook, but we want to get them tender. We do not want to get them mushy, okay? We just want them to be al dente. So let's pop these in the oven 20 minutes. So we're going to put together a nice little fragrant syrup that in the cooking process will then cook down to a glaze. It's rather simple, and here are the ingredients. A little bit of vegetable stock, exact same vegetable stock that we cooked the squash in. I have a little bit of honey. I have smoked paprika. I have garlic. I have cayenne for a kick. I have a little bit of orange zest, and the surprise ingredient, a pinch of cinnamon. I also am going to use just a touch of lime juice, knob of butter, orange juice from the oranges that I zested, and then the co-stars of this wonderful dish, some pistachios and sun-dried cranberries. First thing we're going to do, vegetable stock, very nice, a little bit of lime juice, the honey, cayenne, smoked paprika, a touch of garlic, a little touch of cinnamon, orange zest. And then I'm just going to get the juice of an orange in here, knob of butter. I'm going to take this over, and I'm going to reduce this by 1/3. It's been 22 minutes. I've taken our butternut squash out of the oven. I'm leaving it here. As you can see, it's still absolutely roaring hot. It's al dente, but it is not overly soft. I'm going to show you why. The container that we braised the squash in, I've added a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter. I am going to go back in to our squash. I'm not cutting through all the way. I'm simply scoring it. And I do that to all these pieces. Here's my beautiful syrup. It smells super smoky and citrusy. So we're going to hit this with a little bit of the syrup. That syrup is going to permeate through those score cuts that I put in. We're going to save that for the final. This is going back in the oven. About 8 to 10 minutes, high, about 375. Okay, so here I am back with our squash. It's a lot softer. Our syrup is really turning thicker and thicker and into a glaze. I'm going to give these, I got my little 1 ounce ladle here. Going to give these a nice basting. I got the last of my beautiful glaze here. Let's get that on. And then I add pistachio, my cranberry, back into the oven. Here we go. This is what it looks like coming out of the oven. You can see where the syrup has come down to virtually a glaze, but I would normally serve this cutting this into probably 3, larger pieces even 4. But I'm going to tell you, they've not had it like this before. This glaze brings it to another place. The crunchy, fruity finish of the cranberry and pistachio is a great little surprise. I have some fresh oregano leaf just to give it that touch of the garden, and then a little bit of chopped chive. As I'm bringing it out to my line, I would cut it for the servers just like so. See, there's 1, 2, 3, and that would be my portion. If you wanted to serve this as a first course on a banquet or an elevated dining experience, I want to show you how I would plate this. Look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful that is. And all I've done here, I have used a little bit of our bell pepper coulis that we made when we were doing our vegetable sauces, a little bit of drizzle and cranberry and pistachio. glaze. But what I finished it with was a nice bit of fresh orange zest, an edible flower, and then I finished it with a touch of the fresh herbs that I used in the actual finish. So I've got a little bit of fresh oregano and chive. And that's what it would look like, Chef.